Hi guys, and welcome to the Trading Card Talk. We just want to give a little plug to the First Edition podcast because that will have daily content and a weekly long podcast. Like the first episode was an hour and 48 minutes. It's got golden nuggets in there, not the breakfast cereal, but there's some really good stuff, and that's just general Pokemon chat.
Can you sell them in the Pokemart?
Yeah, why not? Why not? But yeah, it's really good fun, isn't it? And that's obviously with Randolph Pokemon. They're a lot bigger than us, so if you're here, you most definitely know who that is. However, we will still be venturing on our quests here on Trading Card Talk. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, we're going on a quest.
We're going on a quest.
I feel like I need like a little exclamation mark above my head to show.
Hello,
that
dear
I've got,
sir. What do I need to do now?
Meet more.
Oh, okay.
I'm a robot NPC.
Oh, robot NPC.
It's
Fallout.
translated it in text. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. But we're going to talk about, so this, obviously 2020 was a crazy year for many, many reasons. But right now, I think this is going to be an interesting video because we're going to talk about why are graded trading cards such an investment?
Yeah.
And I say investment because we're not going to go to what we normally do with the whole collectible nostalgia side. And that was the entire market when I started.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The entire thing.
Like, realistically, I've known you for pretty much this entire collecting journey that you've been. Well, I've known you since you were 10. So I've definitely known you since you started collecting cards.
Yeah.
You never went to me, oh, this card's worth this. It'd always be, oh, look what I got.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what I got in my collection. Way.
And that's the point. And that was the original market. That was the original. I don't know, because it was a market.
It was a niche.
It was a niche, a
market.
real niche.
Yeah,
a real niche. Like trading Pokemon cards was there back then. You could buy and sell collections. The values involved weren't the same. Tom's trying to get comfortable. The values weren't the same.
Well, we've got this. Now we're not on a bench. I keep bouncing off you slightly to the side.
I'll move my leg. But anyway, so that has changed now. He's playing footsie. Anyway, that has changed now, and whether we like it or not, and the fact is, it is the truth. Trading card games, Pokemon trading card games is probably what we'll go into in more detail because that's our specialty, have become an investment. They have become things of value that people buy to either keep their value or obtain more value. There's no feelings aren't involved there.
Yeah, I'd say it's become a lot more diluted when it comes to the collecting side of it. The more kind of posts you see on Instagram, even from the like hardcore collectors, you're not it's the same thing that happens with YouTube. You have to put a clickbaity thumbnail up, or else people aren't paying attention. Same thing with the collectors seen on Instagram. A lot of the people I've followed from the start on Instagram, and a lot of the people you've known from back in the day on Instagram, the stuff they post now isn't, here's my favorite new, insert whatever my Pokemon that I collect is. It's now, hey, look at me, I got 16 cases of Cosmic Eclipse all sealed and I'm not opening them. And that's not even the graded stuff. The graded stuff is like, you look at Charizard King, he's like, I don't even like a Shining Charizard. Here's 3 of them.
Yeah, but I still own it.
Yeah, I still have 3.
It still has value. And you know, I think the big thing, the Instagram community has grown so vast as well. Obviously, there are those accounts that will appreciate the Poochyena. There are those accounts that appreciate a particular Pokemon. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the big guys, the guys who've come in this year and they've gone, right, TCG Pokemon, if I put money there, I'm either going to get more money or I'm gonna keep wealth.
Yeah, it's like an ISA.
It's like an ISA.
For a lot of people, it's like, I've got this, and it means I can't spend it, so I've got this money, and at some point I can withdraw this money from the hobby.
So I would like to speak about the behavior, like the reasons why we found out. So one of the big reasons is obviously COVID. It's been a perfect mix, actually, the last year. That has been COVID, you know. Everyone's been inside, and if you were one way or the other interested in trading Pokemon cards, during that time, you went, well, I'm just going to do that more. Therefore, you had more time invested in it. Therefore, you had more money invested in it. And therefore, that's how the market grew. And then new people came in from outside, and they went, I spot an opportunity here because the values are going up to a point that interests me. I'm not having to trade 100 cards to make £100.
Yeah.
I can trade this one card that I buy off this guy who thinks he's getting excellent price. Look at a lot of my collection. If it doubled in value, you would have bought these primes behind me for 60, 80 quid.
Yeah.
And people have come in and gone, well, that's a great deal because I can then sell them on for 300 to 500 or whatever. I don't even know what they're at because I don't look at them.
Probably considerably more.
Maybe that is the case. But, they're thinking, right, there's an opportunity there because they should be worth more.
Yeah, and a lot of people are asking if it's artificial inflation. All inflation is artificial. That's
It's inflation.
It's inflation.
Yeah,
it happens because people are doing a certain thing. All inflation is man-made. Will it carry on at the same kind of levels? Who knows? Will it go down? Who knows? It's kind of hard to predict at the moment because of the wild fluctuations everywhere in trading cards. Even things that aren't the Pokemon or sports cards go up and down in price every single day. You look on eBay, you might see one sold for £100 and then for £50 and then for £300 in consecutive days. It doesn't currently it's not stable at the moment. I'd say I'd say for Pokemon and sports, it's a lot more stable, and for the graded cards, it's a lot more stable than anything else.
So if we talk about supply now, so that's behavior. You're absolutely right about that. The supply. Right, we are actually probably in the best position in the world to know about this. Frankly, in May, June last year, if you submitted cards to PSA, the expectation was 5 months at the very max. You'd be like, damn, why did my cards take so long? And last year, that's not how it worked out. Last year, we're still waiting on returns from major, and that's not just us. That is most of the rest of the world.
It's the world.
Yeah. Obviously, some exceptions happen, but in general, most cards that went in on those service levels didn't come back. So you're talking about people who still submitted high-level, top-tier cards in those service levels because they were happy to wait 3-4 months.
So and they weren't worth as much.
Yeah. Why would you need Express? Yeah. Why would you send Express or Express Plus or the 20-day or the 5-day service if we use PSA terminology? Why would you do that? The value was not there, for one. And for two, it wasn't that long anyway. Most people have a general patience level of 3 or 4 months, especially if they sent 3 times in those 3 months.
Also, I think there's definitely a case to be had that if I've got an expensive card and I want to keep it for my collection because it's expensive, but it's not dumb money. It's not I'm going to change my life with this card kind of money. I'll send it in and wait 3 months because, I'm going to keep it in my collection anyway. What's the wait? Who cares? Whereas now, it's that card is now worth life-changing money. Kind of wish I'd sent it on 5-day.
Or the profit's insane.
Yeah.
The profit margins are. You can talk from some of my collection pieces. You're talking thousands of %.
Yeah.
And that will be the case across many other collectors and many other investors. They're not looking at 1 or 2 times more, not 1 times more money wouldn't be worth it at all. But they're not looking at doubling their money. They're not looking at the 30 quid to the 60 quid, which is where the market was. PSA 9 first editions were £50 or less in many cases in March this year. You're not looking at those cards now being £60, £80. You're looking at those cards being hundreds of pounds. It's something I never thought was plausible. I never thought it could grow, and that's of course. But I never thought it was plausible, and it's been this perfect mixing pot, to create these record prices and interest in Pokemon TCG.
Yeah, as well as COVID, we had celebrity endorsement of Pokemon.
Yeah, going to Logan Paul.
Yeah.
You're the YouTube guy.
Logan had 24 million subscribers or something like that at the point, and was like, I'm going to buy the most expensive thing in Pokemon that is sealed, which is a first edition base set booster box. I'm going to do a box break. Some people, unfortunately, paid $11,000 to pull a Clefairy, but we don't go into those kind of horror stories. We always do things for the channel, guys. But then we had Justin Bieber, we had Leonhardt, we had King Pokemon coming out of the woodwork.
They blew up. They all blew up.
Oh, not coming out of the woodwork, but you know what I mean. They were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Was not a big channel at the start of this year, and he hit 100. Congratulations to him as well. But he hit 100k. Randolph was, I think he had 100k subs.
Randolph went from being the rapper who dissed Deji and everyone knew him from Sidemen videos and the music videos with KSI to all of a sudden become the Pokemon god on YouTube. And I'm not entirely sure when it first started exploding, because obviously after. How have you managed that? Sorry, let's just. Connor has managed to fail at opening a can to extraordinary levels.
I don't know what has happened there, and I'm thirsty. But carry on.
Randolph started this Pokemon channel. Obviously, we started working with him, and even before like the Logan Paul boom, where he hit like a few 100,000 subscribers due to like Pokemon blowing up, him being like one of the best sources of Pokemon knowledge.
Well, he kept getting the content.
Yeah.
A lot of work goes into it. I don't want to
like,
get rid of that.
Lots and lots and lots of work. But even at the start, he was exploding faster than any other Pokemon channel that existed. He was growing faster than like Unlisted Leaf, Leonhardt. He was growing faster than them, especially proportionally. He was getting 100,000. Oh, all of a sudden it's at 200,000, and it was like, what's going on? And the more people think that, oh, this is acceptable.
Yeah.
The more people go, oh, let me look into what I've got. The more people research the values of the things they've got, and the more people go, I can make some money.
Yeah, I should actually. I don't want to point out something actually. Money has no actual value. You're told it's got value, and therefore you believe it's got value. It's a common fact in economics. That's how it works. It's got no, you can't trade it. Yeah, you can't trade it for anything other than someone else believing that it's worth value.
Yeah.
So the more Pokemon people believe it has these values, people believe the Shining Charizard First Edition is worth thousands of pounds. The more people believe those things, the more value it has. It doesn't matter what the actual the market's
the bomb
before.
cost.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like realistically, you've got probably what is, I don't know, maybe 1 cent worth of cardboard and ink inside a plastic holder, which is costing maybe like 20-30 cents per piece.
Yeah.
And you've got the artist time and stuff as well, but they've printed so many that per card it's probably completely negligible. The actual cost of a Pokemon card is nothing, pretty much.
No, it's absolutely nothing.
Free, like, in comparison to pretty much anything else. But if you go, this is worth 10 grand, I've got it, you want it, you're willing to pay 10 grand, all of a sudden it's worth 10 grand.
It's worth 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's it, really. And it boils down to being that simple. Pokemon, another point I want to make, has always been a place of markets.
Yeah.
So it always had this potential for an explosion. You've got markets, the sealed market. When you buy the cards, they have value there. Yeah. You have, when you open it up, you crack them up, then the singles, the little accessories, that all has, value. Yeah. And then you have the value add of sending it into graded gem. Of course, why wouldn't you? And then it goes off to PSA or, any other grading card company. And they come back, and once they've been put in those slabs, someone's looked over it and gone, that's a Gem Mint 10. That is the best possible copy of that card. And there's actually, and now there's pops, now you know how many Espeon Prime PSA 10s are. So now you've got a whole market of people going, I want that card. There's 30 of them in the world. How do I get that card? What's the value of that card? Where's the supply now? How do I get an Undaunted box? And all those things add up into becoming this perfect marketplace.
Yeah.
Which has, it was almost ripe for picking. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was right for picking.
The multiple things kind of helped it. Rarity is the biggest one. Like, stuff was getting older, going out of print. Now, you don't see that with many things on the planet. Things usually just improve and they're completely replaced. If you're looking for a new TV, you're not looking at TV models from 2-3 years ago. You're looking at the latest one. It's the same price, but it's just better. It's just a replacement in every way. There is literally no point in getting the old one. Whereas with Pokemon cards, you want the old ones because they're different. There's like Evolutions isn't base.
No.
Base Set 2 isn't base.
No.
Even with the games, there's improvements to be had between, say, stuff like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Gold, Silver, Crystal. There's improvements. There's graphical improvements. There's more stuff that you can do. But you still want the originals because of the nostalgia. You want them because of the collectability, the rarity, the intrinsic value that they do hold.
Yeah.
So it is one of those markets where it doesn't matter if, if someone tomorrow goes on Instagram and goes, here's actually a case of Undaunted, I'll sell them all at retail. Tomorrow they won't be worth retail. They'll be worth the same as they was the day before because 6 more people have got them, or one person's got all 6, and they're like, they're still worth the however many £1,000 they were the other day.
And that markets play, that's the key role.
Yeah.
The markets play. The fact that people are constantly trading money and time for these cards, just proving constantly they have value. I want to bring up another point as well. The fun element.
Yeah.
So Pokemon TCG, at the end of the day, if you have any sort of wealth or you haven't garnered any sort of trading ability, what's more fun? What's more fun? Collecting Pokemon cards and going for those gem grades, or maybe your 9s, going for your collection goals, your investment goals. How much better is that than sticking money in BT? and getting paid a dividend of 5%, and maybe it'll go up in value a little bit because they bought up a hyper broadband,
Hyper broadband. Starlink from Elon Musk.
Yeah, like how much more fun? Like there are people who very much get a buzz off trading stocks and shares,
penny stocks and Wolf of Wall Street.
Finding value in the latest electric car company because they're going to beat Tesla at making cars in a decade's time. Unlikely, I would say.
Unlikely.
So there can be excitement garnered from that, but at the end of the day, it's graphs, guys. For myself, for many other people who are of our age demographic, it's a lot more interesting to buy and sell those items and actual hold them. You can't hold shares. You can't own it. It doesn't actually. If the world turns calamitous tomorrow and there's a zombie apocalypse, I can still hold my cards. Apocalypse.
Is that what happened?
That was an apocalypse, not an apocalypse, apocalypse. Anyway, that messed with you. As long as I put boarding around this place and we got crossbows and stuff, I've still got my cards.
Yeah.
But BT's worth F all. It's got no actual value. There's nothing that matters to me. I don't care about it. I do care about my cards.
This has always been a thing with people with cards. It started off as sports cards. I mean, there's a film, I can never remember what it's called, with Sean William Scott, Stifler from American Pie, and he plays like a cat burglar. No, it's a weird story. But
I think he's making this up.
No,
okay,
listen.
Carry on. Yeah,
he's like a burglar who knows parkour, and he tries to rob, I believe it's a drug dealer's house or something, and like his prized possession is a sports card that is worth like $1 million, and it's like in a proper slab. I can't remember if it's graded or if it's just like in like the screw down cases. But like that has been a thing for ages. That film came out in like the early 2000s.
Desire for that card.
And someone like, this is some big hard gangster who's like, this card is my like prized possession, mess with my card and mess with your face kind of thing. Like all of a sudden that's become Pokemon. But even if you look outside of cards, the collectability of like the rich, the super wealthy, it's that they might have accumulated their wealth through stocks and shares and whatnot.
And real estate or whatever.
Yeah. And things that, people need or want, like necessities and amenities in life. But then they'll have collections of luxurious cars, or they'll have collections of different houses that are luxurious. Watches, and they don't mean anything. Watches, or I'll be like, oh, I've got a suit that's worth $25,000. And it's not because this is a worthwhile investment. And to be fair, cars and stuff might be. But it's not because, this is a worthwhile investment on its own. It's because I like this and I can afford this, and it might go up in value.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of reasons. Another good thing about trading cards and the graded trading cards is that they're very deliverable.
Oh yeah.
Like if you think about, let's talk about the luxury car market. You can't really go out there and buy a luxury car for £500 because once you've included the postage, paying the geezer to buy the car, sell the car.
Paying the geezer. £400 postage on a luxury car.
Getting the insurance, getting the warranty, getting all of everything done. The engineer to go, yeah, that's all right. £500 is nothing. However, to post a graded card or a non-graded card costs nothing. The accessibility to the market. If you have £50, you can buy into this market.
Yeah, well, it's harder now.
No, but you can
start. You can make a start.
It doesn't have to be graded. Sorry, I'm talking about like a TCG.
Yeah,
you
TCG
could buy your Elite Trainer box from Hidden Fates, or other examples there are. You can.
Or you could if scalpers just took a break.
Yeah, but that's probably going to be another video in itself, to be fair. But yes, that is absolutely the case. The value out of grading is massive. And that's the case.
Yeah.
The value's there now. People have seen the value, and that's why I do wonder. The people who are saying this is going to crash, and who is not telling you it's going to crash? All of us, all of me, all of those guys. Do you know why? Because it's not in their interest for this to crash, because that would massively hurt their wealth. But I do want to give some reasons about why it isn't going to crash.
Yeah,
if
Go
that's
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
One of them is because now you're watching this video at Graded Gem, you're watching this trading card talk, and you believe these cards are worth this much. And you're watching other people around the world selling you exactly the same thing, and you're all following, you're all liking, you're all giving every single action you guys make. Logan Paul doing the box, every single action is just building in this trust and ability that these cards hold value.
I'd like to kind of give the same thing,
Yeah.
but an opposite reason. You said trust in this is building, and I also think that fear of it crashing is rising, and that fear kind of holds people back from letting it crash. They're like, well, I'm not going to sell it slightly cheaper than the last sold because what if? And do you know what I mean? People get scared. And if we put our biggest viewed video on our own is Pokemon crashing, everyone clicked it because everyone, I'm guessing, collectively saw that thumbnail, saw that title, and went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, they did. Because the confidence in Pokemon TCG, because at the end of the day, it's ink with a plastic case, probably worth less than $1 production cost. There is always going to be that fear from collectors, from investors, that actually this could all crash and hell, I should have bought my BT shares and been happy with it because that was a lot better than whatever's going on here.
I really hope that everyone just goes, do you know what? Screw this, I'm going to go invest in BT.
Sounds like a great investment. They do everything. They're perfect. But yeah, then that's...
Very British.
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
And I guess another question is the accessibility of the market, I would say. If you talk about other things, real estate, not accessible. Especially, you can't afford a home, especially if you're in our age group. That is the case for many of you.
Our parents' generation, it's always brought up that they go, I had a house when I was 21. The average house price was like 35 grand, 40 grand. You can easily get a mortgage, like a 0% mortgage, things like that. And I'm not complaining. Do you know what? If I want to buy a house, I'm going to save up the deposit and I'm going to pay the 10% deposit or 15% deposit. I'll do it. But
the accessibility is not there.
It's harder. It is definitely harder.
You can't buy a mini cheap house and then sell that mini cheap house for a little bit more, and then maybe get that little house, and that goes up in value, and then eventually you build up.
Well, there's a reason. Things like those, like cargo containers, the 20-foot containers, they've become a thing recently where you can be like, I can buy one of those and convert it into a house for like 20, 30 grand. That's what people were buying 3-4 bedroom houses for. Now, what you could do though, you could go and buy a Charizard.
You could.
And not many of them for 30 grand, to be fair.
Well, then you could hope that goes up in value, though, couldn't you? And then eventually one day when you find a lovely girl and you have a kid, then you go, right, sod you, Charizard, I'm getting myself a house.
To be fair, she might come along and go, what's with the dragon?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, stay the hell away from my dragon.
This is my shiny dragon.
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
And he's first edition PSA 10. Thank you very
did you
much.
not know that? I'm obviously keeping it.
Yeah.
So that it's an interesting. Any of these other markets, they're not accessible to many of us at our age group. Realistically, even if you went to go and buy stocks and shares in the UK, I know the US, you have something called Robinhood where it's like damn cheap as hell to get on the stock market.
Philip DeFranco promotes Robinhood.
Yeah, it's like damn cheap as hell to get on the stock market. But in the UK,
get free stock.
It normally costs £12 to buy or sell shares. Now, if you've only got £100 to put in an investment, that means your stock has to go up by 10%. As sad as that sounds, that's a lot of money to a lot of people. It's basically going to the bank. You know when you get 10 quid from one of those stupid ATM machines that cost £2.50?
Oh, right. Oh. That's a whole other topic. How dare you charge me? Charge me. How dare you charge me for taking my own money? This is where money doesn't have, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
In my normal life, I'm very handy with things. I can do things. And I'd rather personally be like, if you can do something for me, I can do something for you.
Yeah.
Because payment kind of is... it's just a weird system. That's just a personal thing.
Holding loads of money doesn't really make a lot... if you have loads of money, fair play, and well done to you. But, for many people, it's very, very...
cards.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to acquire lots of money. Most people are not in that position. And even if you have got no money, then there's the government telling you can't have it. There's many things that are just like, well, I have to do this now, and it stops you from actually doing anything worthwhile. Whereas if you can go and buy a Charizard, and you can enjoy that while you own it, and go towards your collectibles.
Another part of that as well is so obviously in the UK, I'm not entirely sure how it works in other parts of the world as much, but we have income tax. Income tax gives you £12,500 or something like that, which is tax free. So you can earn £12,500 from your wage, and you don't pay any tax on that. Everything over that, you're paying 20% on, all the way up to £50,000. However, if you've made a previous investment in a thing to keep, and then you sell it, that's capital gains. So you get another, I think it's £12,000 of tax free. So you're not having to pay tax on that money up to £12,000.
Okay.
So you can be like, oh, hello. I've just earned an extra 10 grand this year, and I've not got to pay. Hey, I've not got to pay any tax.
Yeah,
which is good. Well, extra tax.
So I guess the question to
Ooh.
no, this
Oh,
isn't
it's a good
open,
thing
so
it's
it
not
doesn't
open.
matter. I've really broke it now.
Oh no, he's completely snapped the top off.
So I guess to end this
I
is
don't know what you've done.
obviously you said the fear against the confidence, and to be fair, in markets worldwide, that's a general phenomenon, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
you could have fear that the housing market's going to collapse, but then some people just have utmost confidence it never will, even though it has crashed twice in 2 decades. I guess the question is, in many facts, is whether this is going to continue, and whether 2020 to 2025 we're going to see a continuous market growth, maybe not growth actually,
Yeah. Stability.
establishment,
Yeah.
of Pokemon cards and people keeping these graded cards. We all know that this year is going to be an incredibly big supply of cards, of graded cards coming back from the biggest and the best grading company, obviously PSA. And that's the one. If it wasn't for the turnaround times, none of you would question. No one would. I certainly wouldn't.
No, I fully agree.
They're the biggest and the best. But we are going to start seeing supply come back, guys. Your cards are going to come back. I'm really happy to say that. And I'll be even happier to send you an email saying that. But they will this year. There's no doubt about it. So
why has Pikachu stole our focus again?
I don't know. I think he's probably more interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with 99%. Well, those cards when they come back. Are you guys going to keep some? Are you going to sell some? Are you going to sell all of them and get that money as quickly as possible? Are you going to keep all of them in the hope that they rise further just for investment purposes? Or are you going to collect them because you want to go for all the on-the-ball cards? Or you want to go for all the...
Good luck getting all the on-the-ball cards.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it depends what you guys do, where this market goes. It depends on your behaviour. What happens now? My behaviour has always been anything in my collection is sealed, and that will always be the case. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, a lot of those messages coming to Creative Ground on asking to buy stuff, and the answer is always no. And it depends what you guys do. If you guys get your returns and you sell them all immediately, and you're very much free to.
Yeah.
We don't have any opinion on that. That will have an effect on the market. Every single effect, every single confidence and fear has an effect.
Yeah, for sure. If this gets too diluted and the demand isn't there, market values go down. If the supply goes up but the demand meets it, it can stabilize or get higher. Like, if there's no supply, which is not really at the moment, prices are still going to go up for the extreme short term.
But it's all speculation.
Yeah.
So if you believe your card value is going to go down and you'd rather bank out, you sell it. And then the next person goes, oh, wait there, that was a bit cheaper. And then they sell theirs, and then the fear comes in. And then someone right at the bottom goes, that's when I'm buying.
Yeah.
And then they buy them all up. I want to finish this on a quick one. Lapras First Edition PSA 10. So 2 years ago, this card hit £1,500. And I know that's not a lot right now for many of you watching, but that's what it hit. It hit that. And what happened to this card was, one sold for £1,500. Two then got listed. They sold for £1,200 each. And then the listings just came and came and came. And you had about 12 Lapras First Editions go up in a matter of 3 months, and this was a card that wasn't seen in about a year. And eventually, the last card was sold for about $450, and we didn't see one for a very long time. But I can promise you, the one that went up after that was more than $1,500. So that's maybe a lesson for all of us. But yeah, I think that's enough, isn't it? We spoke about money today.
We did, and our basic gist of things was, still needs to be a collector's hobby if there needs to be value in there, because if all you're doing is looking for a quick thing through COVID, you're going to fail.
Yeah, there has to be a market.
Yeah.
There has to be people like me and like yourself who have an interest in this, who collect the cards for whatever reason because they want to. Because if there's none of that,
there's no desire, there's no demand. Right?
And then the whole thing will crash. And I'll be very happy because I'll have crap loads of primes if they go back to 30 quid.
Finally pluck in. I changed it. You see, pluck in. Complete Generations is Radiant Collection. Yeah, I'll be happy then. Because I've been trying, but I thought I don't like these prices.
So then, guys, was there anything we missed? Is there other reasons why trading cards are the perfect phenomenon of 2020 and why they've gone up in price so much? Is there reasons that you actually believe, well, damn, this is going to crash? Or reasons you believe, what, this is going to go up? Gary V very, very recently said this is going to go up even further again. He might be right, he might be wrong. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2021. Yeah. Please let us know your thoughts. If you did disagree, don't feel like you have to dislike. Like, you can disagree with us. That is allowed in 2020 and 2021. So still like it.
It's good it was allowed last year.
Yeah, but we'll see you soon. And thank you, Tom, at Bayset Tom here, for joining me. And
now we're going to try and open this off camera.
yes, we are. So we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.